Hi, in this video, you will learn about observation, which is one of the basic science process skills. What is science process skills? Process skills is described as the logical way of breaking down the steps in our thinking to find out how to answer our questions about how the world works. Human beings are naturally curious about how different things around us work, so we tend to explain them. These skills are defined as a set of broadly transferable abilities, appropriate to many science disciplines and reflective of the behavior of scientists. Science process occurs naturally and spontaneously in our minds. And they are not just useful in science but in any situations that requires critical thinking. It is grouped into two types: basic and integrated. The basic, which are the simpler process skills, provide a foundation for learning the integrated or more complex skills, such as controlling variables, defining operationally, formulating hypotheses, interpreting data, and experimenting. The six basic science process skills are observing, inferring, predicting, classifying, measuring, and communicating. We will focus with observation. What is observation? It is the acquisition of information from the environment. We observe when we use one or more of our senses to find out about objects, events, or living things. An observation is a fact learned directly through the senses. Observation has two types. These are qualitative observations and quantitative observations. Qualitative observations are those that describe what something looks, smells, tastes, sounds, or feels like. When you think qualitative observations, think of the word quality, which means characteristics. Qualitative observations are describing the characteristics of something with the use of words like red, soft, or sour. In this photo, we see a 5 peso coin. With the use of our sense of sight, we see that the coin is round. It is also flat. It is small, metal, and gold or yellowish in color. With the use of our sense of touch, we say that the 5 peso coin is smooth with a little rough parts. And it is also hard. If we smell it, it will give us a musty odor, something that is moldy or damp in smell. It also has metallic odor. If we have a coin dropped, we will hear its clink or chink. Let us have another example. Let us describe this cupcake using our sense of sight, touch, smell, hearing, and taste. For the sense of sight, it is moist and colorful. If we touch the cupcake, we will feel that it is soft and greasy. Using the sense of smell, it is aromatic and flavory. It makes little to no sound. If we taste it, it will give us the following tastes. First, creamy, sweet, delicious, and mouth-watering. What are the characteristics of qualitative observation? In qualitative observation, there is no right or wrong or definite answer. In this method, the researcher is keen on gathering varying answers because the more dynamic the data sample is, the better the research outcome. Qualitative observation pays attention to how the context of research influences information, outcomes, and findings. It is subjective in nature. Qualitative observation considers any research process differently regardless of any similarities with previous studies. Now that we know what quantitative observation is, let us describe quantitative observation. Quantitative observation is an objective method of data analysis that measures research variables using numerical and statistical parameters. Quantitative observations are those that provide some type of measurement or comparison. It is composed of numbers and a label. An example of a quantitative observation is shown. There are 7 apples in the basket. Another example of quantitative observation is the liquid inside a beaker measures 200 milliliters. The ruler is 12 inches long is another example of quantitative observation. Other examples of quantitative observation are age, weight, volume, and scale. What about the characteristics of quantitative observation? Quantitative observation is definite. It also gives fixed findings. The research sample size in quantitative observation is large to be more effective. Research bias is reduced in quantitative observation. Why is observing important in daily life or in experiments and science investigations? To close, let me give you this. To acquire knowledge, one must study. To acquire wisdom, one must observe. By Marilyn Vaughn Savant.